How did you feel comfortable when you were, most of the time, this is a generalization, but when you were at state dinners, like when you went to the White House, when you were in China, when you were dealing on this high level, did you ever really enjoy yourself?
Oh, I had a lot of fun.
What are the happy memories, the ones that, where you transcended the protocol, where it didn't make any difference? Would Cuba be one with Castro?
Oh, yes, we had a lovely time in Cuba. Wonderful. We'd get ready to go out, and he'd come to pick us up, and he'd say, "Where's Mish?"
Your son.
And my 4-month-old baby, "Well, he's up with the nanny." "Whoa, bring him." And then he got furious because I had him in a little one of these English romper suits, and he told me to change him because that's no clothes for boys. And, you know, he took a tremendous interest in the baby, and the baby went everywhere with us. We have these wonderful photographs where he's got this, on his fatigues or whatever it is he wears, a big patch of saliva from the baby drooling all over him.
So that was good. That was, you felt you had an immediate good response.
Yes, it was on a one-to-one, you know, kind of
And what
level.
about the spearfishing party? That sounded like fun.
That was very, very, very exciting. I wasn't going to be allowed to go because they felt it was very, Pierre and Castro were going to go up to have some private talks for a night at a sort of unknown destination. And it was very rough. It was sort of a radar military camp and on the sea. And I wasn't going to be allowed to go. Instead, I was going to go and see a Canadian ballet in Havana. Well, I can see lots of Canadian ballets in Canada.
Don't blame you, sure.
And so but the Canadians said just no way, that the baby and I would be an inconvenience. There was no place for us. And so at lunchtime, Premier Castro turned to me and he said, "Why aren't you coming?" And I said, "Well, the Canadians won't let me." He said, "Aren't you a photographer?" I said, they think I'll be in the way, that I have no function. "Aren't you a photographer?" I said, He said, "Well, then, we're not having any press up there. You come and take pictures. You've got working." And when I got up there, they had a bedroom for Mish with every single bit of layette, equipment, and bed, nanny, the whole thing. And we had the most extraordinary evening. Pierre went out with him, and they spearfished and caught the whole dinner in the sea, and they cooked it on the barbecue. There was no electricity. They sort of hooked up a generator, and we had a discussion at a table where everyone was included, our policeman, the nanny, the cook, everyone sat around this table. Mind you, there was the advantage that Pierre spoke Spanish, so that they were arguing in Spanish, and it was just about 3 weeks before it became publicly known that the Cubans were as guerrillas in Angola, and so there was a tremendous argument between them about this, and it was a very intense, lovely evening, very...
Could you generally participate in discussions like that if you wanted to?
Yes, he would. At several times he turned to me. He gave me the credit of turning to me and translating for me what was going on and asking my opinion. He even asked the nanny's opinion on problems of being free in an unfree world.
Now, if Cuba was the high, or one of the highs that was good, would the low, in terms of being comfortable, would that have been France when you...
Yes, indeed.
Why?
Well, I don't know. I shouldn't say it, but I found that the French can be the most arrogant people in the world.